Here's to the crazy ones, the misfits, the rebels, the troublemakers, the round pegs in the square holes, the ones who see things differently. They're not fond of rules, and they have no respect for the status quo. You can quote them, disagree with them, glorify or vilify them. About the only thing you can't do is ignore them, because they change things. They push the human race forward. While some may see them as the crazy ones, we see genius. Because the people who are crazy enough to think they can change the world are the ones who do.
Hello everyone. I welcome you all to the day one of Misfit Mega Summit. Hello Prasenjit. Can you
Yes, Rahul,
share
I
this?
can hear you. Okay.
Hello everyone. I welcome you all to the day one of Misfit Mega Summit. Vruksh Ecosystem Foundation, as you are aware, is an innovation think tank building a cohesive ecosystem. We facilitate economic development through innovation and entrepreneurship programs designed to suit the need of geography and also create a platform for different entities which support entrepreneurs to operate under a single umbrella. Vruksh Ecosystem over the last 3 months have hosted a pitch event series in the South Asian region called the Misfits. The Misfits is focused toward providing a stage to the social impact chain makers, be it startup, non-profits, or innovators who are building solutions, tech or non-tech, that can improve the quality of life in their regions. The pitch session happened virtually in 15 locations across the South Asian region, with each location hosting approximately 10 social entrepreneurs and from which the top two were selected for the mega pitch event that will be showcasing the top 30 misfits from the region across. The final mega pitch event is happening between 12th and 22nd November. We will be hosting we will be hosting a series of talk and panel for our fellow social entrepreneurs. Now I invite Abhijit for the opening keynote. Hello Abhijit.
Hey, hi. Thanks, Rahul. Welcome, everyone. Hi, this is Abhijit. Thanks for setting the tone, Rahul. To share a little bit about Vruksh Ecosystem Foundation, I would like to share that we're very happy to express that we've formally completed 2 years of our existence. 12th November is the day that our organization got registered legally as a not-for-profit foundation Section 8 company by the Ministry of Corporate Affairs in India. And we started our journey though a few months before, since June, and we celebrate our foundation day on 5th of June. But this day marks a very important time in our journey. Vruksh Ecosystem Foundation was started with the purpose of bringing together innovators, building these ecosystems wherein we build an ecosystem for supporting them on ground. Prasenjit, can you please move the next slide? What we understood was that local problems need local solutions, and that's exactly where entrepreneurs from tier 2 and tier 3 ecosystems need support, and they need the handholding to move forward. That's where Vruksh Ecosystem Foundation was born. We understood that the needs of a thriving ecosystem stand on 5 pillars. Those are talent, the density of enablers, mentors, institutions, a culture that supports communication between existing senior entrepreneurs and aspiring entrepreneurs, obviously capital that would keep people flowing, and that would enable startups to grow effectively. And obviously, regulations by the governments, local urban bodies, so that the ease of doing business is established. We have this internal saying in the organization that it's not simply about ideas, but it's about making those ideas happen. And the sole reason that we exist is to help entrepreneurs out there to make their dreams come true. Some of our past projects have spanned across different domains. We worked with government bodies. We worked at policy level. We worked across several major ecosystem players in the country. One of the key spots has been the MSME support and outreach program, and the recently concluded PMUI Yojana in the state of Maharashtra, where Vruksh Ecosystem was the implementation partner. We also were part of a national consultation for the Young People's Agenda by UNICEF India and Niti Aayog, which focused upon uh, building a policy for young entrepreneurs in, uh, in the ecosystem around here. We've also worked with GIZ in the past for building a network of incubation centers in the Nagpur region, and obviously through the Autodesk Fusion 360, we were working with them in terms of the India Academy launch. Some numbers too that we'd like to flaunt here amongst all of you are that we've worked with close to 60,000 SMEs, through to which we've supported them with credit linkage of approximately 600 crores. We've trained about 8,000 students in our journey so far, with over 250 startups that we've engaged, about 250 plus workshops that we've conducted, and obviously chai that keeps us going on. We have a phenomenal leadership that has been backing us in our highs and lows, and all of this wouldn't have been possible without their support in the entire journey. I I thank all our senior board members that have been with us, Mr. Ramakrishnan, Mr. Kamlesh Pandey, Jaya Rupa, Pratibha. Uh, I myself serve as the executive director for Vruksh Ecosystem Foundation, and Suraj leads the finance vertical for us. Now, coming to what we are here together for, Misfits. We started this as a thought right in the peak of the pandemic, that we saw a lot of phenomenal people doing amazing things out there, building response systems for people out there in the middle of the pandemic. And we thought, what could we do to recognize these individuals out there and find the most impactful change makers from the South Asian region? We found great support in the entire. We started with the thought of starting a online pitch event that would encompass across 15 regions in the Southeast Asia, and that primarily came across as a motive to identify or build a platform for social entrepreneurs, innovators, and change makers to connect and showcase their work to the world. While we say it's a pitch event, we never considered it just as another pitch event. We ensured that there is a community that gets built through this entire exercise. We took a journey across 15 cities in Asia. The entire exercise was highly impact focused, identifying individuals and enterprises that have been creating a better future for all of us. And beyond that, we brought together a lot of partners at the regional and global level, wherein these stakeholders would help us seed this innovation ecosystem. And obviously, a community that would now henceforth keep building on to ensure the sustainability of the entire exercise. To share about the focus regions, we primarily focused upon mostly tier 2 cities and upcoming economies in the Southeast Asia. There were 10 regions in India that we focused upon, and there were 4 regions outside the Indian subcontinent that we moved on. And we got phenomenal response from all of these places. To talk about the benefits, we've got our amazing partners that have extended support and benefits for all the entrepreneurs that have participated here. Uh, Telugu, Thrive5, Paytm Build for India, Fundwise, VCATS, Shaper Impact Capital, Thinkubate, Estrella Global Ventures, Message 91. These have all of these folks have opened their arms and given us support for our social entrepreneurs. Not just that, but also through the Global Shapers community, AIC Banasali, Triple IT Hyderabad, we're getting mentoring support for the winners, Autodesk Fusion 360, EduVans, Kodo, the Startup Buddy, Eat Launchpad, and Startup Grind have welcomed us with, have really literally showered us with a lot of benefits for all these folks out here working with us. To share a snapshot of the impact of our work done so far, while we started with 15 regions, we went on to encompass about 20 regions in the South Asia. We identified 30 misfits that came out from close to 200 applicants in this entire journey. We had over 90 partners, and all the numbers that you see on the right hand side, those have been majorly organic reach that we've been able to incur without spending any cost on social media activities. I would like to here take an opportunity to thank GIZ India that has come up with open arms pretty much in the last phase of our journey, and enabled us to take the Misfits initiative to their entire partner countries, and where we are able to provide space and then a platform for all our top 30 Misfits to showcase their work and make their voice heard in the ecosystem. We were graciously powered by Telugu in this entire initiative, and I'm very happy to share that Startup India also supported us through their outreach to find all these entrepreneurs here. Beyond that, as I shared, that we've got some amazing partners that came us and helped us at the global level. Our global ecosystem partners supported us with benefits, with hands to get this initiative up and running, and everything that was possible throughout in this entire span of time. The global outreach partners ensured that the voice reaches to maximum people out there in the world, and we see amazing social entrepreneurs coming down to this platform. Next, we have our regional partners. Now, I'm glad to see that we did not expect such a phenomenal response, but I'm very glad that all these partners showed their trust in us and ensured that all the regional initiatives were run smoothly, and we identified such amazing social entrepreneurs from these regions. Uh, to also thank the brains behind this finale series, Helm of Eight and Makeshift, along with GIZ, have been instrumental in designing this entire experience that all of us are going to share in the next few days. And I would like to humbly thank them for all their support in terms of making this a reality. Before we move to the next part of the panel discussion, I have Mr. Kamlesh Pandey with us, who's been who's one of our board members, and he's been instrumental in driving our entire initiative. Sir, I would like to invite you for a few. Hello, Kamlesh, sir. Yes, sir.
Now, am I audible?
Yes, sir, you are.
Okay. So my congratulations to the entire Vruksh team, and it's a wonderful occasion to be a part of their second anniversary function. Uh, as Abhijit has said, there are a couple of senior peoples who got interested in this enterprise, and then we somehow decided to be an active part of Abhijit's team. Uh, I'm very impressed with a couple of things that Vruksh is doing. The most important thing I noticed just now as I'm speaking to you is that in the name Vruksh, they have the letter U. And like I always tell in industry we value U. U means YOU. And that stuck me when I was reading this. So I would suggest Abhijit to make that U as capital so that we give a message that you people, other people, his colleagues and his clients and his friends are very important to that. So that is one thing which I am just going. Okay, like Abhijit was saying that we people have joined them, we are experienced. But so far as I am concerned, my role has been a very drastically bad role in the sense I have always played a devil's advocate. So Abhijit used to come to me with schemes and proposals and other thing. And I remember he must have hated me at times that I sort of knocked down half of his proposals or rerouted the methodology that he was proposing to me. But nevertheless, I put all my experience. And the reason that I am fully and actively involved in this is that I saw some fire in the belly, not only of Abhijit, but every member of Abhijit's team. And one of the most important thing that I got impressed with is the average age of his team. The average age is slightly higher than my grandson's age, and that impresses me. And the accompanying fire and the clarity of thinking and enthusiasm and the gusto and never say die attitude is one thing which has really attracted me, and I have decided to be an active part of this team uh, till and to whatever point they go. I ensure that I put my experience, and one of the most important job that I want to do is to orient them to doing something which meet the needs of everybody in this world. And they know who their customers are, they have segmentalized their customers. So I would like them to make sure that they come up with various solutions, and each one of the solution is a gap based solution. That means the need is there, so you don't have to establish the need, and then the customer acceptability of whatever they do and whatever they bring to the market is there. Okay, so I'm not going to say much more. In future, I would like to make sure that Vriksha grows wider and deeper, and it takes root, very firm root. And I would be very happy to be part of this growing exercise. In later, when these people establish, I'm going to make sure that Vriksha formulates some important systems. And right now the stage is that they are growing, but once they actually take roots, then we will have to go with some systems, and that is where I would like to play a good role. For example, they will generate knowledge. So how do we manage that knowledge? How do we manage the innovation that these people are thinking? So I have sort of a carved out a role for me, and it will be sort of a facilitator role. And that's all I wanted to say. I wish Abhijit and his entire team all the very best.
Thank you very much, sir. It's been a privilege to work alongside you, and absolutely at no point in time we felt that hate feeling towards. I think that is exactly what you folks have been for us, and I thank you for your continued presence and assistance with us. I would let Rahul take over back. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Abhijit. Prasajit, can we move to the next slide? Today, we have an amazing set of personalities who are the leader of today's market. They are not only playing an important role in Indian market, but also in the global market. So our first guest is Mr. Satya Yeram Setti, who is the founder and CEO of Telugu Communication, which is the India's first UC as a service company. It's been over 17 years since he started his entrepreneurial journey. In these 17 years, he has founded multiple companies, scaled them, sold them, and dared to walk away from a few who lost track of their objective. He is a self described dreamer and storyteller. Also, he is a serial entrepreneur, visionary, and a man on a mission. He has been awarded as the Rising Star of Andhra Pradesh in 2011, Indo Global Education Summit in 2013, and Business Excellence Award in 2019, which is part of Indie World Billionaires Club. We welcome you, Mr. Satya. We are very happy to have you here. We also have Mr. Saurabh Jain, who is the Vice President of Paytm. Not just that, he is also the head of Paytm Build for India. He has an active role in startup products, developers relation, and social impact within Paytm. He has also managed the relationship with various industry bodies, including NASSCOM, CII, FICCI, PhD, ASSOCHAM, TIE, and many more. He is founder of Fun to Do Labs, which is an open education project and believes in the motto of Happy Kids Learn More. Saurabh, by qualification, is a chartered accountant with a keen interest in technology. He has authored 2 books on mobile application technology. He wrote Mobile Phone Programming, which was India's first book on mobile apps programming, and it was published in 2003. Mr. Saurabh, we are happy to have you here. We are very thankful for the support you guys have shown for Misfit.
Good evening, everyone.
Next, we have Mr. Varun Heta, who is the Fusion 360 Community Manager of Autodesk. He is an accomplished technology evangelist. He is used to working on a deadline with experience in research, process improvements, and technology development, involving both startup and growing organization. Varun is on a mission to build and nurture highly engaged Fusion 360 communities in multiple regions. He spreads the good news about how Fusion 360 democratize design and manufacturing by empowering people integrating their disconnected product development processes. He also excites people about transformational innovation and inspires them to innovate in the way they do things. In his free time, he is either on Instagram, or if not on Instagram, then you will find him engrossed in his favorite hobby, which is FPV drone flying. We are welcome, Varun. We are very happy to have you here. We would like to know more about drone flying. Last but not the least, we have Mr. Abhijit, who is the executive director of Vruksh Ecosystem Foundation and the man behind Misfits. He is also the moderator for today's panel discussion. So we are happy to have you here. We are very excited to host you for Misfits Mega Round for the day 1. Now I request Abhijit to take over the session.
Thank you, Rahul. I think Rahul has been humble in saying that I am the man behind Misfits, but he's been the primary driving force in the Misfits initiative. I think whatever we see Misfits today as in its shape has been because what Rahul has been doing actively with all of us and driving all of us here. So thanks, Rahul, for those kind words. I would like to maybe Satya, if you can maybe please share your video. I think that'll help. So yeah, so we have Satya, Varun, and Saurabh here. It's been amazing for all the support that you guys have been driving for Misfits, and I thank you for all the engagement that you've helped us with. Uh, Social entrepreneurship today, like I think for us also, while driving this Misfits initiative, we thought even we had that misconception that okay, social entrepreneurs are folks who would be probably doing something on the ground, not doing very tech heavy stuff, and maybe working mostly in a NGO kind of a setting. But when we started doing this, I think it was an eye opener to see these amazing folks doing such incredible work in all of these domains. And that's why we have these three folks with us who have been working in this space and who've been enabling a lot of social entrepreneurs. I'd like to start with you sharing a little bit about your work in the social impact space. Maybe Satya, if you could take the lead.
Hi, everybody. I thank you. And yeah, we have been doing a lot of work in the social this thing, and Telugu has been instrumental in connecting people. And to give a little background on Telugu, we help businesses communicate and connect with their customers and their teams. So a lot of our customers are in the region where you don't have internet connection or poor internet connection, and then they still want to communicate on video or audio. Or so some of our tools help, let's say, the farmers connect with the companies in like seed companies or agrochem companies to help them better understand the techniques of farming and things like that. We also helped the government in the COVID times for them to for the front end teams to coordinate and communicate, like the police teams or the doctor teams to help during the lockdown and even after that to fight COVID. So these are some of the initiatives that we took to help make an impact in the society.
Thank you very much, Satya. And also to highlight at this point of time, I think our engagement with Telugu started within the lockdown period, where even we had a major challenge connecting with students who did not have smartphones. And that's where we discovered this phenomenal product by Telugu that was Group Talk. And we were able to conduct audio classes for students. Like about 1,500 students took these audio classes, and we taught them entrepreneurship. And also glad to share with you that about 100 of them created their business plans, and most of them already have launched their businesses, earning close to like 50-60,000. These are students who come from low income communities in Maharashtra. And I think whatever the impact that we had would have been would have been meager if it was not for Group Talk that came to our rescue. So thank you, Satya, for that.
I'm so happy to learn that it has been so helpful for the students and the entrepreneurs who created such businesses.
Absolutely. Thank you very much. Saurabh, I would ask the same question to you. I think I've been following Build for India for a very long time, and you've been driving inspiration and aspiration for a lot of folks out there to I think now that the Atmanirbhar Bharat is a phrase, I think you were much ahead in building for India quite before that. So could you share a little bit about on that front?
So see, Build for India is basically an initiative where we believe that entrepreneurs will change the destiny of the country. So we have seen in last 70 years that people have been thinking that this party or that party will change the fortunes of the country. Obviously, parties have their own role, but at the end of the day, we all know that even after 70 years, we have thousands, or I would even say millions of issues in India if you include all the small and big issues. And I don't believe that one government with 1 PM and just 28, 29 CMs, because government is a very hierarchical institution. They cannot solve all the problems, especially these smaller problems. Maybe they can solve the large scale problems, but the smaller problems cannot be solved. So there I feel that entrepreneurs have a great role. Just see, for example, Paytm. So in 2016, before this demonetization, so just before demonetization, I was paying to my carpenter, and he said, and Vijay was a friend in industry, so I knew about Paytm at that time. I was not in Paytm, and he said, भैया आप मेरे को पैसे जो देने हैं वो मेरे को मुरादाबाद के पास मेरा गांव है वहां भेजने, आप पेटीएम कर दो. तो आई वॉज वेरी सरप्राइज्ड, एंड आई सेड तू पेटीएम कर रहा है, तू तो पहले कैश लेता था फिर किसी के साथ भेजता था गांव में. So just remember 6-7 years ago, all the relatively, I would say, people who are working from villages in Delhi or in cities, they were sending money through some person who came from their village, and that person sometimes was not delivering the whole money. So such was the situation. And now through Paytm, through UPI, all these innovations, now just one click and you can transfer that money. So things have changed very rapidly in payments. Same thing if you see with Uber and Ola, etc. So I remember when I was in school, if you miss the bus, going to school was a little difficult. So my mother had to learn driving just to take us from like house to school. So obviously things have changed very rapidly in last 5 years. As late as 2015, I went to San Francisco, and I came to know about Uber for the first time, and I was very surprised. मैंने कहा सिर्फ click करो और cab आ जाती है, ये तो बड़ा interesting. And 2015, it feels कि बहुत time हो गया, but it was just in 2015, and that too in San Francisco, not in Delhi at that time. So I believe that innovations, and especially not even innovations, I would say product management and the stuff which startups are doing have the capability to change the country. And only startups are able to scale things. Because if you see, there are a lot of MSMEs and there are a lot of NGOs also who are doing things, but still they are not able to scale that much. Most NGOs are not able to scale that much. Startups have scaling in their DNA, they have problem solving in their DNA. So basically, Build for India wants to promote that. As part of Build for India, we do innovation. We do like Paytm is doing a lot of innovation. So we try to become a bridge between Paytm and the startup ecosystem. The second thing which we generally focus on is mentoring. Like I go to a lot of incubators, etc., for mentoring. In fact, many people were saying that I was always on the airplane before March, and when this lockdown happened for first 2-3 months, I was very happy because first time I was able to stay with my kids for like, because for last 2-3 years I was not able to even see kids doing anything, because in the morning when I was going, kids were going to school, and in the evening when I came, they were sleeping. So at the end of the day, I would say that as part of Paytm Build for India, we are doing that. And third thing which you just mentioned in your slides, we give a free payment gateway booster. We believe that startups need some support. Obviously, money at the time of bootstrapping is in short supply. So we give a free payment gateway booster, which gives 1 lakh rupees worth of transaction value free of cost for first 12 months. And for credit cards, generally we charge around 2,000. So if you see, we are giving 24,000 worth of free commission to you. And the second thing which we are doing as part of Paytm is that we have just launched the Atmanirbhar App Store, which is called the Paytm Mini App Store. So it's an app within app. See, most apps have difficulty in getting money, because you see on Facebook nobody wants to transact money. On Google, people want to transact money, but they generally don't have access to their wallets, etc., specifically when they're seeing Google ads. But when you are using Paytm, you have access to the money. So a lot of good apps can be built. And Paytm Mini App Store was something which we were working on, and then suddenly this Atmanirbhar Bharat, and then we had some issue with Google, and suddenly we had a lot of people saying that we should launch Atmanirbhar App Store, and we launched it. And as Paytm, we all know that when we launch, we do in a big way. So what we did was that now we are not taking any commission. So that is good for social entrepreneurs, especially because if you have some app in Google or Apple store, you have to pay 30%. But in our Atmanirbhar app store, what we are doing is that we are not charging any rupee for any commission for rupee debit card, for this UPI, as well as uh, for the other instruments like credit cards. We are only charging the 2% commission just for the payment gateway charge. We are not charging any business commission. So that is a very big step, because as an entrepreneur, say if you are a social entrepreneur, you want to do like just to give you a specific example, last year I went to Naropa fellowship. So Naropa fellowship is very famous. They are based in Ladakh, and I saw there were a lot of entrepreneurs who were from villages, and they wanted like one entrepreneur e-commerce online, and in the process he said ki it is very difficult to sell, etc. So Atmanirbhar app store is actually a very good thing for people who want to sell local handicrafts, local things, and obviously they don't have to give any major commission. So that is a big thing. So these are some of the steps which Paytm is taking, and as part of Paytm Build for India, we help to reach out the startup ecosystem. We help to mentor people.
That's some very interesting work that's been happening at your end. Now I have Varun here. We've been like buddies for a very long time. He's been driving the ecosystem for hardware entrepreneurs very effectively from the outside initially, and now within Autodesk. So Varun, please share your initiatives and the kind of amazing work that uh, is happening through Autodesk.
Hey guys, hi, good afternoon, everyone. First, I want to thank Vruksh Foundation for hosting Misfits and inviting me to this panel discussion. Specifically, you, Abhijit, you have been the driving force and the engine for all the good work that has been happening. And at the same time, I congratulate Rahul and Prasenjit. I know you guys have been working day and night all together to make this happen. And when I first heard about this initiative, I was already excited. And within certain weeks, I thought this is something like going beyond the expected outcome. This is like immense. The growth is immense. So really heartiest congratulations for the team. And it's a true honor for me to present alongside with our prestigious delegates today. So guys, my name is Varun, and I work as a community manager at Autodesk. And my job is basically to nurture the innovative user communities and support our customers in doing innovation in their design and manufacturing workflows. So I closely work with people who are into product development, own companies, machine shops, designing studios, and all those things. At Autodesk, as you know, we make software tools to help people with design challenges every day. And we help our customers who design and make everything from skyscrapers to smart cars, from bridges to blockbuster movies. We help our customers to make buildings, who make buildings and cars with less environmental impact. And we help customers to make movies with more emotional impact. So we have solutions for almost all the industries, be it construction industry, design and manufacturing, and media entertainment. Some of you might have heard about a signature product in industry called AutoCAD. That's one of the product by Autodesk. And we have many solutions for specific industries. We say our tools automate how things are designed in the digital world and made in the physical world. So we have a history of working with people from multidisciplinary background, like working with mechanical engineers. Our tools help them to simulate the performance of the cars before they are made. And our tools also support manufacturing engineers to prepare those cars once they are made. So overall, our tools automate how our customer design and make things. And in the social impact space, uh, it is our goal at Autodesk to provide the technology in the hands of everyone and to make it more accessible and possible. So we all get the opportunity to innovate in the way we do things. We offer these technologies, something like generative design, which is the latest trend in design and manufacturing space, that allows people to innovate certain component and use artificial intelligence based approach to even further optimize a certain bracket, a component, or a metallic object based on certain manufacturing considerations. We have a product called Fusion 360. That's a cloud-based solution that can do end-to-end product development process from designing, modeling, styling to rendering, and finally end-to-end manufacturing. I have been talking to Abhijit about, actually we have been working together on a couple of other initiatives previously. And I was very closely working with the user community, like working with people from maker spaces, hobbyists, and all these backgrounds who are passionate about making things. No, there was no monetary benefit. They were doing things out of passion. And one of the things that was struggling for people who are in this domain, specifically the hardware domain, was the scalability. And personally, I felt this is one challenge because the entry barrier to enter into a hardware ecosystem to make a tangible product is pretty high as compared to making a software, right? Because of many certain reasons like cost and many other things. So I feel scalability is something which is very critical for social entrepreneurship because it's actually a mindset. If we think about social entrepreneurship, so there are people, even we are noticing this in our D&M industry, that there was a time when people were purchasing and looking for products in market which were designed for functionality. And I'm talking about like certain years back. But now the time has completely changed, actually drastically changed. Everybody wants to access tools with good design aesthetics and at affordable cost, and the demand for only functionality has reduced as that of it used to be like a decade ago. That's where we see a big opportunity. This is where collaboration is really happening in a very, very big scale. So there's a trend that is being noticed right now. We see people with designing background, like industrial design, and people with mechanical engineering background. At the same time, people who are working in manufacturing industry, who do work on CNC, VMC machines, and all those things. They have found a synergy and alignment to what they do with each other. They have found their own ways to share data set, to work together, to understand each other constraints and all those things. And this is somewhere impacting the entire market, the mood of the market. So people still now, you see, all of a sudden, everybody started looking for organic food, right? Even we do the same. Like we want to have good food. We want to live in a better lifestyle. We want to invest in things which are not harmful for environment. So the market is already shaping up. And I think this will bring a lot of opportunity for the entrepreneurs who are looking for solving pressing problems from the industry. Wow. When we talk about enabling the ecosystem for social entrepreneurship, we also run a couple of programs from Autodesk. So as I said, we have this cloud-based CAD/CAM tool called Fusion 360. So we offer free access to this tool to people who are from education domain, or they are into startups, or some people want to use it for personal use, right? So we have certain conditions. So we offer the entire package for free of cost to enable more people enter into hardware ecosystem. And there is one of the other strengths that I see from our side, that is our user community. And that's not just about people using our solutions. Anybody who is into D&M space, that is actually already a part of the community who support each other, and they all address pressing social issues. So we recently launched a new program called Autodesk Group Network, and it's a global network of user groups, developer groups, and online groups to connect each other to learn, create relationship and share knowledge. Wow. So this is the stuff that's happening right now. And at the same time, we have something called Fusion 360 India. We started like 2 years back, and it's a fan community dedicated from India. And it's actually a group of passionate designers and engineers. They all support each other. They are like, living, breathing design and manufacturing and engineering. And they want to change how things are designed and made within India. and contributing their bits to make the larger mission of Atmanirbhar Bharat.
Thank you, Varun. That was this some amazing work that's happening, and I think I lost track of all the initiatives that you've been driving out there at Autodesk. Uh, Next into the discussion, so Satya, I had a question for you. Through Telugu, you actively have been working with a lot of government bodies. You work with a lot of social entrepreneurs. You see impact happening at ground through your products. What do you feel that maybe other players, maybe people like the government, the corporates, institutions should come together and support these folks in a much better way? What are your thoughts around that?
I think the government is actually doing a lot these days. They're forming separate bodies to help entrepreneurs, and Atmanirbhar is a big boost in that direction. And the kind of loans they have been dispersing, even we received some cash inflow as an MSME ourselves, and I know a lot of friends who received loans and help from government as top up of their existing loans and other things, which is helping a lot of entrepreneurs and small and medium enterprises grow during these difficult times. But they can do a lot more. I mean, now that the industry body and government haven't really aligned together, my idea is if all of them align together, a lot more can do. Like, for example, if you take your organization and if you can somehow uh, align with the government and companies like us and then grow this, then it will be a great initiative for entrepreneurs and small medium enterprises.
I think Joy and I are already discussing on that front.
Very good, very good. We will extend all our support because we have government clients and we have connections into the government and political parties, which can help you really, grow this phenomenon.
Oh, absolutely. I think you guys have some phenomenal tools that have been supporting the social entrepreneurs. Just to add up on that, like what gaps do you feel that exist for the social entrepreneurs on ground?
I think access to capital and access to mentoring is a big gap that I see. But more organizations like yourself should crop up and help this bridge this gap is what I feel is happening right now in the society. So when we are people like us, companies like Telugu are all ready to help or associate or partner with companies like yourself to bridge that gap.
Absolutely. I think while capital is a pressing pain for everyone, I think one of the key things that you mentioned, mentoring, is something that we also understood that is missing, especially for social entrepreneurs also, because while there has been a focus uh, for startups in general, I think there's a lot of missing space, especially for social entrepreneurs to come forward and engage with mentors there. So yeah, I think I have a similar question for Saurabh-ji. If you could share, during the Build for India phase, you've seen a lot of innovators coming up, a lot of teams coming in, sharing problem statements. What were those few things that you felt were really missing? Obviously everyone wants money, but then that's not always what they need. What were those few things that you felt?
I think the biggest missing piece in India is knowledge of product management. The second one I would say is knowledge of user experience and design in general. So generally people feel that nobody is willing to invest because people don't want to invest in their ideas because they don't have product market fit. Product market fit they don't have because they don't have a good product. So the problem is that product management is not taught in any college. in 99.9% of colleges don't teach product management. It's taught a little bit in a few places. And design, unfortunately, is not taught in any stream. We have National Institute of Design, but it has a very low amount of uh, it has very few students in it. And right now, every digital company needs a designer as well as product manager, which I feel if you have 50,000 startups in India, so you require at least 1 lakh product managers and 1 lakh designers, which is so many people feel that design is just what they what they basically learn when they learn Photoshop or other tools. But design obviously is not that. Design, as Apple has shown, that design is more functional in nature. And so that I think is missing. It is missing everywhere in India. That is from like north to south, everywhere it is missing. Unfortunately, that is not a focus area of anybody. There are two reasons. One is that most senior people in the industry also are oblivious to this fact. For example, in government's own websites sometimes are not having good product management or design, as you can see from some of the websites. So product management and design as of now is known only in a few unicorn startups and some other startups where the founder is a little more dynamic. Unfortunately, average person on the street, average entrepreneur on the ground doesn't know that that is what differentiates. And even if they know that this is what differentiates, they don't know how to learn. As part of Paytm Build for India, wherever I went, I have shared a list of books so I have read more than 200 books in last 5-6 years. And the reason was that when I was before Paytm, when I was running my own startup, so I realized that I need design knowledge. Unfortunately, as a CA, I never learned about design. I did a lot of self-study in engineering and wrote India's first book on J2ME, Java 2 Micro Edition. But unfortunately, even in engineering also, they'd never teach you design and product management. I went to IIT Roorkee 2 years ago and I asked the teacher who was heading the MBA program. I said, do you teach product management? Because as MBA in IIT Roorkee, I assume that you are teaching. So he said that as of now, we are not teaching that. In BTech, even in IITs, they don't teach product management or design. So the problem is that till we don't focus on that, I don't think we would have startups coming out and solving the problems of India. As you can see, the actual power of American startups is not AI. Many people feel AI aa gayi to hame sab kuch aa gaya. That is not the thing, because AI and all the other tools are available to everyone. There maybe as Google or as Amazon, you have access to some certain extra things, but most people don't require that. The differentiator is product management. The differentiator is design. And if you have a good product, you have product market fit. And if you have product market fit, obviously the investor would come. So I think that is where, as Build for India, I am personally focusing that wherever I go, I mentor. I tell people that problem is not money. Problem is that your product is focusing too much on technology. आप इंसानों के लिए product बना रहे हो, कंप्यूटर के लिए प्रोडक्ट नहीं बना रहे हो, ये थोड़ा दिमाग लगाना पड़ेगा. So I have that focus, and that is what differentiates. Just to give you one example, तो विजय को मैंने काफी देखा है. विजय को I was reporting to विजय, तो I saw विजय का एक एग्जांपल मैं देता हूँ. तो विजय को एक दिन मैं मिलने गया. विजय I think was sitting with some senior person who was in product. तो विजय told him, he said कि ये एक नया फीचर बना रहे हो तुम, ये फीचर सोचो कि कोई आम आदमी यूज कर सके. Then Vijay became more specific. He said कि अगर ये सोचो कि गोरखपुर में कोई यूज कर सके इसको. Then he even became more specific. He said गोरखपुर में एक मामा जी बैठे, अब मामा जी 60 साल के हैं, क्या मामा जी को समझ आ रहा है जो फीचर तुमने बनाया है. And that is the reason why rickshaw wala, thele wala and common man in India is able to use Paytm. So we used to have, for Microsoft Office, we used to have NIIT courses. आप NIIT जाते थे, कोर्स करते थे और Microsoft Office सीखते थे. For WhatsApp, for Paytm, you don't have courses. Why? They are also apps. Microsoft Office was also an app. So the reason is that these companies focus a lot on making product for the common man. And at the end of the day, when the founder is focused on talking to common man. Another example, Vijay told me one day that he went to a dhaba in Jaipur, and he asked the dhaba wala, भैया पेटीएम यूज करते हो? And ढाबा वाला said, सर मैं पेटीएम यूज नहीं करता क्योंकि उसका रीजन है ये 4 प्रॉब्लम्स हैं पेटीएम में. अब Vijay, one of the youngest billionaires, he was asking this dhaba wala. So he was humble enough to ask him, and then he came back and he told his team, which is from IIT, IIMs, etc. And he said, I want these 4 features to come into Paytm app. So what I'm saying is that if you want to have the best app or best product, you have to be humble enough. You have to talk to the end users, and you have to obviously learn product management and design. And there are some good books. For example, Design of Everyday Things is a good book. There are good books on product management on Amazon available. So I would recommend all the social startup founders, especially, to read about these things and to talk to the actual users. So I would end by just one example. I was recently in one of the IITs. There is an incubator where I was mentoring, and there was this entrepreneur who said, "Sir, I am running this social startup. This will be creating solar cells, etc." And I said, "तुम solar cell इसलिए बना रहे हो कि तुमने IIT में solar cell की engineering करी? Yeah, you went to some villages and you talked to hundreds of villagers and you felt अगर मैं इनको solar cell देता तो इनकी life change हो सकती है." So that is the question you have to ask. You are just building technology for technology's sake, or you are building technology for the common man. वो आपको सीखना है. And विजय को तो मैं clear ही बता रहा हूँ. I personally was very impressed कि यही पेटीएम की actual जो होता है ना, जैसे राजा की जान वो होता था पहले की कहानियों में, अरेबियन नाइट्स में तोते में होती थी, तो हमारी जान वो जो एंड यूजर के ऊपर हमारी पकड़ है, दैट इज आवर थिंग. इट्स नॉट टेक्नोलॉजी तो गूगल के पास हमसे ज्यादा है, बट द एंड यूजर पे जो पकड़ है हमारी, वो दैट आई थिंक इज द डिफरेंशिएटर.
Absolutely. I think Kamlesh sir here has a few inputs. Sir, I'd appreciate if you can put those forward. Sir, you're on mute. Sorry.
Actually, I totally agree with what Saurav was mentioning. And I happen to teach. I'm past student of IIT Bombay. I am also an adjunct professor at IIT Bombay School of Management and Mechanical Department and IIT Kanpur. And I retired as head of innovation in many different companies. So my course of action also was, and it is still, and as I interact with youngsters more and more, I feel that yes, technology is given overdue importance in product development and management. That is the first thing. And so far as youngsters are concerned, we should really make sure that they are taken away from technology and technology. In fact, non-technological things and customer orientation are two most important things in that. Similarly, I often tell youngsters that the entire definition and scope of product design has undergone tremendous change. And it's not only the engineering design, but it is much more than that one has to be aware of. So I totally agree. And because of that, I expose young students at PhD, postgraduate and graduate levels to a full-fledged 30-hour course on product development and management, which is much more than just the product design. So if we have to expose the youngsters to a good product design, I think we will have to make sure that more and more educational institutes introduce this course as at least elective. I totally agree with you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your comments. Maybe Satya and Varun, if you have some pointers to discuss on this. I think this discussion has went on a very interesting level.
Definitely. See, we are discussing about certain challenges, right? There are certain things that I feel, and these are from my personal experience. I think one of the challenge I also see, and this is specifically in entrepreneurship, it is the fear of failure, right? We have been a part of a system in which we study and we get rewarded if we succeed, if we do good, and we get penalized if we fail into something. And with over time, we get this kind of mindset altogether. And I think this is because I have interacted with a couple of startups who are trying to do something specifically in incubator spaces. And I noticed many people have a very big fear of failure, that they don't want to fail, right? But I think if we want to play the game, we also want to understand the rules, how it goes all together, right? And when we go in market, right? So there are multiple things which are not in control. There are certain things which are in control. So we cannot control everything. We can just give our best shot. And as Saurabh ji mentioned about the product management, I think that is something even equally important, because that's a part of the rule book, right? If you want to play the game, these are the things that one should have to understand in order to do business. Making a product, making a certain technology is working on something specific, right? But doing business is literally doing business, and there are some rule books and things associated to that. So I think this is something which is still there in Indian market, and there has to be workaround to rectify that, I think.
Sure. Thanks, Varun. Satya, anything from your side?
Yeah, as Saurabh ji said, design thinking and product design is very important. But yeah, adding on to what he said, I think customer is the key. Finally, understanding what customer wants and pivoting and or changing your product or your business according to the needs of the customer is most important. We always focus on the customer because we are not a funded company. We are a customer funded company. We are not a VC or a PE funded company. We believe customer gives us money to grow, and so we always take care and understand and listen to what customer wants. And all our products have been developed, and some of the features in the products have been developed by from the feedback from the customer. So we are very very customer focused, and all startups, whether they are commercial or for social, should be focused on the customer and develop products and services according to the needs and wants of the customer. That's what I have to say.
Thank you very much, Satya. So I think here we also have Tommy, who's part of our top 30 Misfits, and he's from Indonesia doing some amazing work. He has a few questions. So Tommy, maybe you want to ask anything out here.
Hello. Yes. It's very interesting to have joined the meeting today. And then like I see there is a lot of the energy here, a lot of experts here to hear from. I hope that it's a very good opportunity for me to learn from the overseas, especially in the India market. And yeah, I see a lot of the expert already sharing opportunity to actually work together and then learn something from him. I think it's very good opportunity, especially for all the startup, all the 30 misfits that already chosen. And then I think it's a big opportunity and a huge opportunity for India to see a big advancement in technology and startup ecosystem. Thank you.
Thanks, Tommy. Anyone else? I can keep going on asking questions, but if anyone else has any questions and you'd like to ask, please let us know. We can take a few questions and then we'll move to the closure of the session. So, Varun, I'd like to know a little bit more, or you could tell our audience here a little bit more about the program that you have specifically for hardware entrepreneurs through Autodesk that you support.
Yeah, definitely. As I mentioned earlier, we have one program that is dedicated for startups, right? And we offer free access to the entire package, so they can use the certain number of licenses for their end-to-end design and manufacturing workflows. At the same time, we have made a design academy that's accessible for free by anybody who wants to learn about product design and manufacturing. So these are the things that we have made available for the startups. And we also have started doing live streams recently, right? And this is specifically aligned to the specific needs of people who have recently joined the D&M space, who are new to CAD industry, CAM industry, or analysis kind of things. So these are the things that we have done. So in case anybody is interested, I can share the links later on, maybe.
Sure. Thanks, Varun. So I think it has been quite an interesting discussion. Also, maybe from your perspective, if you could also share like some of the gaps that you felt specifically with hardware entrepreneurs that you've seen. Like obviously, product is something that we've come across, business is something that we've come across, talking to customers out there. What do you feel very strongly from a hardware perspective?
See, I think from my experience, there are certain things which are good. Like I like the way the Indian startups who are recently starting to make products, they are understanding customer psychographics, demographics, and all kind of attributes before making the final product, right? I'm talking about a couple of years back. I saw many people who wanted to try out different things, and they were making prototypes and all those things using newest technologies. But what was missing was the market research, understanding the need of market, right? We all like to do rocket science stuff and making new stuff, but sometimes we miss to understand whether there is a demand. Is there really a market there for my solution? So I think that is where I see there is an opportunity, right? I remember in one of the previous events, there was one gentleman, and he mentioned that India is a country with a lot of problems, right?
Yes.
And that's actually the opportunity. So you look anywhere, you see there are problems, but you can convert that into an opportunity. So, and this is like infinite, I would say, right? So this is where I see like startups should also look forward. They need to get some understanding of the business side, right? Before investing into infrastructure, tools, solutions, software, hardware, whatever it is. Understand whether whatever you are creating, there are certain things that has to be completed before delving into making the final product. So market research and customer understanding is a must thing before making the product.
Sure, thank you. So here we have a very young attendee from across the world. That's Matthew, who's also part of the MUN Impact, and he has a very interesting question for our panelists here today.
Hi, everyone. First off, it's such an honor for myself as well as, MUN Impact to be included at this very event. Sirs, it's amazing to meet all of you. So just a quick question, circling back to this, really rich discussion on education and product design, what would be some of the most important principles to impart to younger students, namely high schoolers and middle schoolers, who are interested in starting businesses and social entrepreneurships?
I can answer this. So I have worked a little bit with students, etc. And before Paytm, I had, as a hobby, opened a makerspace. So I think there is a thing called maker education, where in high school and especially I was very positively surprised when the Prime Minister announced the Atal Incubation Mission, and Government of India is opening a lot of maker spaces in a lot of schools. So maker education is there where people can dabble with electronics, with ice cream sticks, etc., and they can create stuff in school. So I personally feel that is something which should be done in schools more. As of now, obviously, the program has been rolled out in thousands of schools in India, I think, and in America also, the maker education is making headway. A lot of schools are having these maker spaces. I personally believe that the American model is a little better than India because, but in the present circumstance, obviously, what government is doing is good. The American model is based on teachers taking initiative and they creating a maker space out of the stuff they have. So in India right now, it is coming from the top. I think it should be more from the ground up, where every school teacher or a few parents get together and they create a maker space in a school. So that will help kids to learn about making things, about technology, about selling those stuff which they are building. And obviously the problems which we have can only be solved when these kids see this as opportunity. So once in one of the Build for India events in IIT Delhi, so we had my friend who is the SVP in Paytm. So he said, अगर तुम फिनलैंड में पैदा हुए होते तो, because Finland has is the best when you have this happiness index. So he says that if you were born in Finland, you would not have got the opportunities you have got in India, because in India we have a palette of opportunities. In any European country, because many of the problems have already been solved, you are not able to solve all the problems. So in India, because we have so many problems, so I personally feel that if instead of saying that career is in going to a MNC and doing a job, if we can somehow tell the students that if you choose a problem of your liking, and if you are able to solve that problem at scale, you will become a big entrepreneur. If somehow we can convert the education system from that MNC job mindset, job in Google mindset, to this mindset, I think India will change, and obviously all the developing countries will change.
Wow.
Thank you.
Thanks for that insight, Saurabh. I would, in the interest of time, I would like to ask at the last level here, that any closing thoughts from your side about the discussion that we've had, and for a lot of our social entrepreneurs that are also watching us live today. Maybe starting with Satya.
So my takeaways, or what I learned from this discussion, is product design and customer focus, understanding what customer wants, and also mentoring is something that can change and help social entrepreneurs. They can focus on these areas to make their companies better or their products better, and really think and rethink about what they're doing, and if they have to change something, and what they should change, and how they can bring in that design, or they learn something regarding to design, or find the right mentors, and go back to the customer and really understand if they're fulfilling what the on the ground customer wants. So like how Vijay always goes to Vijay from Paytm, I mean, how he goes to the ground customer, and how their success is dependent on how he can easily understand the technology or their product. Everybody should learn from that, and that's my key takeaway today.
Thank you very much, Satya. Anything from you, Saurabh?
So broadly speaking, I think as a social entrepreneur, so whenever I give a presentation, I always say startups are of three kinds. So one is the winner takes all startup like Paytm, Uber, etc., who want to dominate their category. Then there is a second laid back kind of a startup which Basecamp is very famous for. And then there are third type of social entrepreneurs. So like Khan Academy, even Fun to Do Labs, which I am running, is sort of that. So when I joined Paytm, before that I was running this education startup called Fun to Do Labs. I had just opened, and then obviously Vijay called me, and I realized that Paytm is a bigger canvas. So what I thought was that some of the employees didn't want to go. What I realized was that instead of doing something for profit, I can convert this into a sort of a not-for-profit startup kind of a thing. So just a small thing which I would want to give to all social entrepreneurs. You can do very small thing, but it can have a very big impact. For example, in Fun to Do Labs, so I had these two people who didn't want to go anywhere when I joined Paytm. So I said, I don't have time. So what you can do is you can just instead of doing edtech and educational thing, what we can do is just we can create educational posters. Then the issue was, where will we publish the posters? I said we will publish them on Pinterest. So we published for 1 year. We continued publishing posters on Pinterest, and we had a few thousand viewers every month. Then this COVID lockdown came. And what happened from March onwards, what I was seeing was that last to last month, we reached around 2 lakh unique viewers. Around 2 lakh unique viewers without any SEO. I was not even having time to upload, because in Pinterest, generally the admin only can upload. So I just used to upload with a little bit of description, which the team used to give. Without SEO, we reached 2 lakh unique viewers. We reached around 3 lakh views. And that is what I would say social impact can be. You don't need money. You don't need SEO. You don't need a big army of people. You just need good thinking. And now when I see one poster getting 20, 30, 40,000 views, that basically gives me a very big satisfaction. So I would say social entrepreneurs should not think we don't have the resources. You should just do what is good for the end consumer, and your time will come. It may take some time, but your time will always come.
Thank you very much, Saurabh. Varun, anything from your side?
Definitely. It was such a great discussion today. And there are a few takeaways, I feel. One is understanding that social entrepreneurship is important because it offers a framework for businesses to find their own success in pursuit of helping others, kind of, right? So this is something very important. And I feel when we say entrepreneurship, that's actually, very much aligned to business, right? So we need not have to only focus on, solving problem is one thing and running business is another thing. So I think there are other takeaways like, understanding the customer attributes, understanding the project management, team management, and all those things are equally important as doing and developing your product or your services. And customer first mindset is something that everybody has to understand, and it has to be at the highest level of priority all the time. That getting funds from an investor is a good thing for a business that can get you going for certain miles. But if you are looking forward for a long-term, self-driven, self-sustainable business, then you need to have a service or a product that is that exists a market for that. And at the same time, your customers will define whether your initiative will run or not. So that's how I see that.
Thank you very much. Kamlesh sir, any closing thoughts from your side? And I think we have a question that's waiting in the box. I would appreciate if you could take that up.
Which one is that?
So Rakesh here asked that civil engineering is at the core, and any thoughts around that, like how can people who are working on civil engineering projects primarily find support out there?
I don't think I will be in a position to answer this question about civil engineering as such. Frankly, I'm sorry.
No problem. I think Rakesh will maybe Varun can take that up later. Kamlesh sir, any closing thoughts from your side?
No, thanks. I think I have said whatever I wanted. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, sir. It was a pleasure having you. Varun, would you like to take that question or would you like to pass?
I think, I work in the design and manufacturing space. I would have taken that, but this is more around the market opportunity with civil engineering. So I have to discuss this with my colleagues internally. So I might want to take it. I want to pass it for now and might want to take it later on. Sure.
So Rakesh, I think we'll share something around this for you soon. And with this, I think it was a great discussion. I think I did not expect it to go in this direction, but I think we'll just let it flow, and that's the best way for such panel discussions to move forward. And I thank
Vijay, may I put in a word?
Yes.
Yeah, I should get the privilege because I am one of the track.
Yeah.
Yes, civil engineering, I think it is at the core for everybody. Civil engineering works But like for me, the bread is very, very small segment of my spending. But bottom of the pyramid is entirely dependent on the civil engineering. And there is hardly any support system for that civil engineering, which is water, which is waste handling. Uh, I'm talking of the innovation, not the app which regulates whatever is happening. Basic, this plastering of the wall is civil engineering, what we know. How do we change that? And is there an ecosystem which will support that? That would change thousands of hundreds of crore people in one go. So that is my request. Kindly, I invite everybody, pay some attention to that. My startup is rejected. My idea is rejected everywhere because people talk tech. No one wants to listen to civil engineering. In 5 minutes, people get bored and stop. So here I am already a misfit. So I thought this would be one more feather to the misfit.
I can answer a little bit of Rakesh's question. So Rakesh, I would say that why investors don't want is, and that is the unfortunate thing. We think that investors focus on a technology or on a specific area. Some do, but many investors are agnostic. They would be open to civil engineering. The only thing you would have to show is how will you do two things. One is product market fit. Other is how will you scale. So if you are saying, when you say civil engineering, you are saying that I will create a building or some say flyover, etc. Then how you will scale it, and I think there are many PE investors who are focusing on those. In 2008, 7, 8 time frame, we saw a lot of these infrastructure companies getting PE investment. So investors are open to that. It's not that things are not open. I think maybe right now infrastructure is not that big a buzzword that we had in 2007, 8. Right now focus is on technology, especially in 2020. Focus is on especially on information technology, because of, like, we are seeing Google, Amazon, Paytm all being used more than they were used last year. So I think if you focus on, say, telling people that you have got product market fit, if you can prove that, and if you can prove how you will scale it, and like, for example, if I give you example of civil engineering, like if you can create a startup which is creating houses using 3D printer. So you may have a concrete based 3D printer. So I think that thing can obviously fly in India, especially because we have so much demand for housing. And if you can create a low cost house, say in 5 lakhs using a 3D printer, that would obviously fly. But if you just go and you say that I want to create flyovers of say 200 crores each, then only PE investors can come. Normal investor obviously doesn't have that much money to invest. So that is an issue.
No,
What I want to say is cement and concrete. We got stuck with that. We got stuck with the dam. So innovation is needed at the core, much before this cement and 3D printing, much before that. So that is where innovation actually comes. It's not something what we see and try to. So today, a civil engineering startup is making an app. No, but basically the laborer is still doing the same thing. The sanitation worker is doing the same thing. So that is where the civil engineering has to enter. So sorry to give it a different direction, but that is what is innovation, not making a flyover. No, I was not talking of that. A replacement for the cement. That would change your lives. It will
that,
need.
that I think would work if you can prove to an investor that you are able to replace cement in a convincing way.
Yeah, that was my question specifically.
I think
No
investors
one is
would like to
focusing on
invest.
that. Yeah.
I personally think there would be investors who would like to invest, because obviously if you can replace cement, you can have a $1 billion business. Obviously, most investors don't focus on that because they generally think apps and all these things are more scalable and profitable. But I personally feel there are investors in the market, especially with people having a little bit of real estate background, who are angel investors, etc. You can reach out to them. Obviously, it will be a little difficult to find them, because generally, if you go to TIE, etc., 80% of the investors focus on digital. So it would be difficult, but I personally feel if you talk to 20, 30 investors, you would be able to find 2, 3.
I think thanks Saurabh for answering that. I think Rakesh, also another thing is what you're trying to solve is I understand it from your problem statement perspective, because I know what you've been doing. I think giving that background would have really helped the panelist answer it. Uh, Other part is primarily, I think, in a domain like this, where you think about replacing the building blocks of any system. I think it goes more on the research front, and that's when if the technology could probably change, and that's where.
Uh, with a
Stop
lot
it
of
there.
delay here,
Enough.
let me tell you, people are so much mistaken about the civil engineering. Really, they feel
I
the
think,
leader and
I
the
think,
mystery.
I think we could have like a larger discussion on this
Yeah,
front.
just it was a wide panel. I thought maybe some thought will start, may go outside this.
Absolutely appreciated. But in the interest of time, I would like to move forward. And thank you very much, everyone, for putting across your thoughts, and everyone who participated and everyone who's watching us live. Thank you very much. I would like to now pass on the baton back to Rahul and let him take it from here.
Thank you very much, Abhijit. And thank you very much to all the panelists, Mr. Saurabh Jain, Mr. Varun Heta, Mr. Satya, and also our advisor, Mr. Kamlesh. We are very thankful for giving us your precious time and giving us such a valuable suggestions, with such valuable comments on not only just the state of social entrepreneurship, but also on the entrepreneurship. I hope every attendee over here, and I'm sure every attendee over here would have learned much in the last 1 hour, and from all the from all of your thoughts that you have put on. I'm very thankful to everyone. Now I would like to ask Miss Anupam to take over.
Yeah, hi everyone. Thank you, Mr. Rahul. Thank you, Abhijit and Team Vruksh, for providing me this responsibility to be a moderator and this opportunity to listen and learn from such great panelists. So, first of all, thank you, Mr. Satya, Mr. Saurabh, Mr. Varun, Mr. Kamlesh. It was great listening to your views on social entrepreneurship. And whatever you're doing is really commendable, no doubt. And yes, telling quickly about myself, I'm Anupam Pandey. I'm into operations at Vruksh. So, as the talk was going on social entrepreneurship, I would definitely like to mention that this is very true that social entrepreneurship is all about helping, fixing, and serving others in any way possible. So, this is a true saying that we rise by lifting others. And with this, let's throw some light on Vruksh Ecosystem Foundation team, the people behind Vruksh, the people behind PM Yuva Yojana project, the people behind Entrepreneurship 101, and the people behind Misfits. So, guys, remember this: talent wins games, but teamwork and intelligence win championships. And we all know that teamwork. Yeah, yes, we all know that teamwork begins by building trust, that credibility, and the founding members of Vruksh Ecosystem Foundation know this very well, and they do believe in teamwork. That is why Vruksh is able to impact huge number of people. So no doubt that the strength of the team is each individual member, and the strength of each member is the team. So it's actually an honor for me to have this discussion with our crazy and exceptional founding members. And when I say crazy, I mean they are literally mad for work, for results, and for creating an impact. So they are an inspiration for the whole Vruksh team, for me personally. So moving on to our founding members, we have Abhijit, founder and executive director at Vruksh Ecosystem Foundation, Mr. Charudat Chaudhary, co-founder at Vruksh, Prashant Chaurasia, associate director at Vruksh, and then Surat Singh, finance director, Rahul Pari, associate director, and Prasanjit Debroy, associate director at Vruksh Ecosystem Foundation. So I welcome all of you, and I'm expressing a token of thanks to all of you for thinking this much and creating such an amazing platform, Vruksh Ecosystem Foundation, for all the hustlers, for all the crazy people. So, and yeah, first of all, congratulations to all of you for completing 2 years of legal existence. Kudos to all of you. And see, I'm very keen to talk to all of you. I've set a few questions out of curiosity, and I really want to know more about Vruksh from all of you. So let's get started. And let's get started with my first question, and that is, how did you all come together to start Vruksh? This question is for everyone, as I want to know everyone's reason and efforts. So let's start with Abhijit. How did you all come together to start Vruksh?
I think, yeah. So for everyone out there, I think we thought to have this discussion together to get you on the more informal side of things that we've been doing, and get together the people who came together in the first few days of the journey of building Brook. Sadly, Charudat and Prashant are caught up in some very like some personal work, so they couldn't join in. But yeah, I think this is something. So Suraj, Prasenjit, and I, we primarily were working together for the Swachh Bharat mission. We were fellows with Tata Trust, and I think for all of us, it was a very unique experience where we were working in the village setting. Somewhere like I think we all have this very fancy thought of कि नहीं गांव में जाएंगे तो ऐसा feeling रहेगा वैसा feeling रहेगा, but then when you go out there and when you're working with the government folks down there, I think it takes away all the fun from that system. But then it also gave us a chance to actually understand that yes, there are a lot of problems out there that need solving, and we saw that for me personally, I've been in the startup space for a very long time, and uh, when I came down to this village setting, what we're talking in Bombay and Bangalore in conferences and startup events about all the AI, ML, and the IoT stuff and the uh, industry 4.0, uh, everything broke down when I saw what was happening just 200 kilometers away from Bombay. And that shook me to core to see that, okay, people here don't even have access to clean water. I think that's their problem. They cry out for clean water every single day, and that's where we thought that what could we do in order to change this thing. And I think some of us, we also worked together for driving the Swachhathon event, and we saw very good projects coming in from the ground, working in a sector like sanitation, and that gave us an insight. Okay, that let's see if we could build something on top of this. And before I think starting Vruksh, we so Prasenjit, I and one of our friends, we were trying to work on another startup that was again in the sanitation space. But I had this bus journey with traveling to some village in Pune, and one of our advisors, uh, a joint secretary for the MDWS, V Radha ma'am, she told me one thing, that Abhijit, if you guys start one company, you will create probably one or two entrepreneurs. But if you become enablers, you would be able to create hundreds like you. And I think that was the tipping point where all of this came together. And I found some amazing partners in Suraj, Charudat, Prashant, and Prasenjit now finally coming on board also with us. And obviously Rahul, who joined us, I think, not expecting what he was supposed to be doing, and now taking over an initiative like this. So yeah, that's been something like a crazy ride out here.
Great. That's great. That's great. Same question from Mr. Prasenjit and Mr. Suraj. So, Mr. Prasenjit, you go first.
Okay. So I'll be able to give you a bit a different tangent maybe. So while working with Abhijit for a different event in Bombay during our Tata Trust days, he used to keep on saying, there is something missing in the ecosystem, and I want to build something. So we all had to be very honest, our apprehensions what he's going to do. But eventually, I mean, I branched out of Tata Trust and moved into political consulting. But I used to keep a tab on what he's doing, thanks to his numerous Facebook updates, and he also had his frequent illnesses, which used to, you know. So he'll first fall ill, then he'll go out of Facebook for a couple of months, then there'll be a long post, then again the cycle repeats. But the point is, what the founding team has been able to do is something which is quite phenomenal. I believe that we have been able to touch chords with a lot of people in the tier 3 and tier 4 cities, and through some of our other initiatives which we're trying to build, the larger objective behind Vruksh is definitely to create an ecosystem which fosters innovation, and that is something which is by and large lacking in today's atmosphere. With the focus of Make in India by the Honorable PM, I think this is definitely a value add which we are trying to build for the society. And yeah, so that was too formal. But on an informal note, I think Abhijit has always been somebody who tries to take a new initiative, and if it doesn't work out, he tries new combinations. So we are also doing something similar here at Vruksh, and we believe that it is very crucial for us to keep on innovating and to try different ideas. You know, you never know when you might struck gold, but you need to keep on digging, is what I would say.
Absolutely.
Right. That's so true. So, Mr. Suraj, please go
Yeah,
ahead.
so just to give a brief about myself, I came from a corporate background. Okay, I had never worked in rural sector, or I did not even think about that I would be working in a rural sector or maybe something on sanitation. So when we joined, I, Abhijit and Prasenjit, we were together in the same batch. And later on, I moved on to Uttar Pradesh. Abhijit moved on to Maharashtra. So we were in two different geographical areas, in two different setups, dealing with two different, the entire team. The whole mindset, let's say in Uttar Pradesh or Bihar, is different from what it is in Maharashtra or let's say South Indian state. So for me also, like I got different exposure in Uttar Pradesh. And during this whole journey, when we were working for Swachh Bharat, we used to communicate with each other. Okay, like the problems that we are facing on ground level, what are the opportunities that we were seeing. So this was like when we were working on Swachh Bharat, so we was not just focusing on sanitation. What we could see was there is a 360-degree approach to everything. There were different departments working on different government schemes, and there was a opportunity everywhere. And we could just observe that when we used to go on field, we could just observe that. And we used to discuss this with each other. And also during this period, we had couple of events in Delhi. During that event also we met during Swachhathon, during Prime Minister event. And this whole period, it gave us a, this was the founding root of our idea of Vruksh. I mean, we knew that we will, after this we will do something of ourselves. Like we won't just go back to our corporate jobs, or we just won't go back and do something that is just profitable or that is just commercial. We knew whatever we'll do, it will be self-sustainable and it will be for the ecosystem. So the whole, the impact thing, the whole social thing, that was always in place. Like that was the root for us at Vruksh. And later on, when we completed this 1 year, we had a lot of conversations, and then we did a lot of digging what we can do, be it government projects, be it a private sector thing where we can collaborate, how we can build the ecosystem. One thing that I would like to mention is our focus was never on the urban sector. Because Abhijit, if I talk about Abhijit, he has worked in Mumbai with a incubator. He had the whole experience, the exposure to startup ecosystem in Mumbai. I was working in Bangalore. I have spent all my life in Mumbai. I've seen the colleges here. Okay, the students here, they have a good exposure to everything. At least when I talk about the metro cities, the student here, the entrepreneurs here, they have a good exposure. But at the same time, when I talk about someone from a tier 2 or a tier 3 cities, they may have an idea, they may want to do something, but not they may not necessarily have the support. So that was our focus area. let's not focus on just urban areas. Let's go deep down. Let's focus where it's needed the most. And that is how we our goal of Vruksh was, to focus on tier 2 and tier 3 cities. So that's the whole journey of working together and then joining hands together and coming up with Vruksh.
Wow, wow, that's amazing listening to all of you. And again, same question to Mr. Rahul. What was your reason to join Vruksh? What
Uh,
was the motivation basically?
well, well, even I am thinking what was the reason I joined books. Okay, so specifically, what happened was I completed one internship with Tata Motors, and that was completely technical. And then there I realized I cannot go completely technical. I'm not a cut fit for that. I need something, some role toward managerial. And then I joined one very good community called as Push Starter, Mumbai Push Starter, and there I saw one message from Abhijit. He was looking for some person who could work toward, I guess it was toward content developing. And till now I do not do content developing at all. Just
I'm
Wow.
glad you remember that. I completely forgot.
Actually, that's how a dynamic, a
yes.
startup works. That's a dynamic environment.
We start with something
Ye-
and then we end up on something completely different.
yes. So from there I started with them. I met Abhijit, I guess, after like 3 to 4 months after joining Brooks. I met Suraj at the library of IIT Bombay. He was there roaming with us. Okay, so coming to what motivates me to join, to continue with Brooks, it took me around a year to understand what exactly Brooks is doing. I was not able to
Same
figure
here.
out what is the.
Even we were exploring a lot of things during the initial phase.
Yeah, so I was not able to understand what is the mission of Brooks. Why is Brooks doing such kind of an event? So it's like it is only in 2019, right around September 2019, when I understood. Okay, so this is their path. This is what they are trying to do. This is so Brooks basically want to be at the forefront of entrepreneurship ecosystem. Want to connect to each and every stakeholder and help them to figure out what is their need, and uh, help them to figure out what is their need and how can they make a process or make a strategy for their journey. What motivates me be part of Brooks is the impact that we guys are doing now. Considering just PM Yuva, we have helped around 1500 plus students to understand what is the concept of entrepreneurship, what is the concept of why is entrepreneurship not difficult for you as well. It is not something that only a rich people or only a privileged community can do. Even you can do it with the right guidance, and we are there to guide you. uh, from there we have, I mean, the results itself show that we have around I am not sure of the number. Is it 500 plus micro entrepreneurs that we have created?
100.
100, okay.
Insane.
Okay, so that is around 100 plus micro entrepreneurs that we have created. I'm very happy that I was actively working toward that in the Mumbai region. And second is the thought of Misfit. Like, I mean, Anupam, even you have been part of Misfit, and we have got support of around 90 plus partners. That itself shows that the kind of work and the kind of trust the community is showing towards Misfit. And from there we have uh, got applications of around 200 plus uh, 200 plus social impact entrepreneurs, and with around with after a rigorous work of around 4 months, working 7 days every week,
Yes.
we have finally found top 30 misfits for us. And yes, so the kind of impact that we do is the thing what motivates me and drives me to be part of Brooks. That is my answer.
Thank you, thank you. That's great. Like, keep doing things and keep giving, keep helping. That's what Vruksh does and will do. So, moving on to the next question, because I have so much in my bucket list. Anyways, what has been the highlight so far? Like, what are the USPs? Mr. Suraj, please take this.
I think
What are the
if I talk
USPs?
about
Yeah.
USPs, let's say we have, when I answered my your last question, so we were focusing on tier two, tier three cities, and till now, like during the last 2 years, okay, we have today we legally complete 2 years. So in last 2 years, what we have seen, there are very few communities that are working in tier two and tier three cities. So let's say for us, like I was part of a there was a workshop where a lot of incubators from tier 2 tier 3 cities came, but they were all supported by a college. There was a external community that was working towards tier 2 and tier 3 city. So let's say when I talk about a small district like Dharwad in Karnataka, so the college there, they had an incubator, okay, but there was no external community that was working in Dharwad, or let's say Hubli, or let's say any smaller city in Maharashtra or Orissa. There were no smaller external community. We as an external community, we not only help the colleges, okay, we work along with the government, we work along with the investor mentors, so we bring them all together. And our area, okay, our reach is our USP. When we say, okay, fine, we know a lot of other incubators in smaller cities, we can get you connected. Like, let's say you want to connect with someone from Tamil Nadu or Karnataka, we can do it at a it can be done. So that's one of our USP.
Wow, wow, that's great. That's great. So, okay, talking about Misfits, because it's going, people are viewing it, people are loving it. I am personally loving it. So, Misfits, global pitching event. So, whose idea was this? This crazy event, whose idea was this to organize such an amazing event? And yes, Mr. Raul, like he led this whole initiative. So let's start with Mr. Raul. That what were the challenges and how was the experience?
Okay. First, let's answer the question: whose idea was this? This was clearly idea of Abhijit, and yes, someday pointed out that it was an idea of an intern, right?
Yes. So I think so. Rahul, if you remember, it was primarily one of the interns who had joined us, but she moved on due to some college efforts that were pushing in, and she suggested that we do some sorts of pitching competition. So she put in the, I think it was the inception of the idea came from her, but obviously we took it to the next level. Ki, "ठीक है यार, we don't want to do another pitch event." I think that was the very core of the understanding. We wanted to do something which is different, uh, and I think it just came on randomly. I was watching videos on YouTube one day, and I saw this the Apple's ad, like which Steve Jobs had narrated, that we are about misfits, and he talks about how people are changing the status quo, and those are the people, like people who are crazy enough to do think that they can change the world are the ones who do. And that's where the word stuck me, and okay, I thought, let's call it Misfits. And if you like, I'm not sure if you folks have seen, but the logo of Misfits also is basically a circle sitting on top of a square. So that's exactly like uh, a round peg in a square hole, and that's what inspired us to build this out.
Yes. So the second question: what were the challenges and the excitement, right?
Yeah.
So, so the first challenge was I was put on a lead for this project, and I didn't had much idea about what exactly we are going to do. I have already organized a previous pitch event earlier, but on this scale, finding different partners and so finding different partners and benefits, convincing people that we have got these benefits for you and thus you should be on board with us. So that was the first challenge, to communicate with people, to make them aware of what is Misfit, and in the process also finding out what exactly is Misfit. So yes, that was my first challenge. My second challenge was social media management. I've never done it. If you see my own social media, I've got I think everyone knows that I've got very few followers because I do not post continuously. I mean, I post, I guess, one in a year. So that was basic. I mean, it's still a challenge for me. To get an organic reach is still a challenge for me. I'm still figuring out how to do it. And the excitement part was the only thing which I am good at is the operation part. So knowing what are the tasks to do, figuring out the task, and delegating it to people. I mean, obviously Abhijit won't agree to this.
Yeah.
Part of the delegation, yes, but I had done the delegation. I
I
hope.
think I have fired at Rahul at least 3 times to ask him to delegate things, then trying to do everything on his own.
I think Anupam should be on my side for this, that I have delegated work to her as well. Yes. So yes, that was the challenge and the excitement part.
I think we turned this whole challenge into a achievement. Like as we look back to Misfits, okay, and the credit goes to the entire team. Because virtually organizing something, and this was continuous from last 2 months. Okay, we covered
Four,
every
four.
region. Yeah, 4 months, yeah. And we covered different regions. There were a lot of startups. We communicated with everyone. So there was a whole challenge that we had, but then we converted it into an achievement. Like everything, I missed couple of pitches, but then all other, okay, whatever I attended, everything went smoothly. The startups who were pitching, they were also very good. So I personally, I'll tell my honestly, I did not expect the kind of pitches that we received. Okay, I did not expect that we would be having such good pitches, like such good startups. Okay, so it was the whole 4 5 hours. Like one day we had almost 5 hours of pitch the entire whole thing. Okay, I did not get bored. Okay, from the very first hour till the end time. Okay, I was happily, uh, I was happily looking after all the pitches. So the whole pitches became interesting, and the whole, the Misfit, the whole program went very smoothly. So I think the credit goes to the entire team.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Right, great. So yes, actually, Misfits has made a lot of difference. Yeah, and if you aren't making a difference in other people's lives, you shouldn't be in business. So yes, Misfits has done that. Truly commendable.
That has been
So
the core of what we've been doing. Also, to I think I'll add to this one thing that I just remembered. I'm sad that Varun left the meeting, but last year around this time, I think I just contracted. I think I got back from my second disease, and in the middle of it, I remember we were doing this Autodesk's one event in Nagpur, and we got in some 100 folks together and all of that. And literally 3 4 days before the event, I was hospitalized. I was literally like, I was hospitalized for 2 days, and the day of, like, people, like the entire organizing team was here, and I was in the hospital, and then I came back home, and people are like, I've been giving instructions out to them. And I, like, on the day of the event, I had to speak and give like an address, because we were primarily hosting it in Nagpur for Autodesk. And it was, I literally, like, I remember I took up an extra bottle of saline in me, so that I could have that energy to go out there and speak. And then later on, like 3 days, for the next 3 days, I slept like crazy. I think we've been able to do all of that with like, I think with such an amazing team. I think that's that's a highlight for us.
Yes,
And
absolutely.
as a team, we have always been communicating with each other. So we are, all of us are working remotely. Even when Abhijit was ill, okay, last year, we were communicating. Like we always had our communication on. So be it any organization, let's say you're a startup, the communication has to be very clear, and it has to go on. It has to be continuous. That's how you come up with new ideas. That's how you implement new things. So that is also a very important part in a startup and an organization.
Yeah, the best thing about that, Suraj, is, I mean, even in Misfit, I except Suraj and Abhijit, I have never met anyone personally. Even-
Yeah,
uh,
I mean, we would have met, but because of pandemic, I didn't come from Pune.
right, right. So even Anupam is working from Delhi, right, and we have not met each other. So yeah, so
Ghaziabad, Zilla Ghaziabad.
right, Ghaziabad. I mean, it doesn't make a difference for Mumbaikar. Delhi is Delhi.
I second that.
I thought that.
I can
Right.
see that. यहाँ पे winters have already started on Mumbaikars sad life.
Yes, Mumbai does not have any cold weather.
Mumbai
Yes,
does not have any weather.
except humidity. Yes, yes. So coming back to the topic, I would say that it is the best part about Vruksh that I find is we all have been working from home since the day one. We have been working from our own desk,
You were
and
working from hostel, to be precise.
yeah, I've been working from my hostel, and now I'm at home. So that is a good part about us. Uh, and one more thing I would like to say is it's that we take the work first, then understand it how to do it. Be it PMUA, be it Misfit, or be it any other thing.
No,
So
actually, there's a quote from someone, I don't remember the name. That first you take up the work, then you understand it, and then you do it. That's how you learn things.
yes, I mean to say another quote which is similar to that is "fake it till you make it." That's what we
I,
have been doing.
no, like Rahul, I will interject you there. We haven't been faking anything.
Yeah, true, completely true. We have been doing it actually.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah,
So
that's great hearing such amazing insights. कुछ राज पता चल रहे हैं धीरे धीरे, right? So okay, moving further. What was the lowest point? Like we all are aware that every startup faces a lot of difficult. Yeah, every startup faces a lot of difficulties, and as Vruksh has completed 2 years of legal existence, so what were the trouble spots? Mr. Abhijit and Prasanjit, please you take it. What were the trouble spots?
I think
I
the
think I
biggest.
think I think I think I should be the one first taking it since I handle the finance. Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
So financially, actually, see, if you're a startup, if you're doing new things, if you're building a community, if you're working for the ecosystem, it is not easy for you to financially survive. I mean, we had a team, okay? We had a team, we were constantly working. We worked on different projects. Abhijit was doing a project with the central government, okay? But not everything was financially lucrative for us. But still we did it because we knew to build the ecosystem, we have to be connected, we have to do a lot of stuff, as a consultant, but still not getting paid. So that was one of the challenges that we faced during the whole first year. Like financially it was a little bit difficult for us to survive, but later on things started improving. So that was one of the challenges, and I would say not the lowest point, but if you have your if you have a financial freedom, then you can do everything as per you want. But we always had this thing, financially we had a few problems in the first year. So that was a little bit a low point that we had.
Absolutely. I think, yeah, it's been 2 years for us that we haven't taken a salary uh,
Yes,
as such.
I mean that's also a secret, but then that's how we work.
But then, yeah, that's part and parcel of it. But then, yeah, I think for me the lowest point was probably last year. That was during my sickness. I think
Hmm.
we are in the middle of executing the IIT Roorkee project with Z Nation Lab, and uh, I think in the middle of it, I contracted jaundice, and I was like on bed for like 3 months. I just got up. I was planning to fly to the US, and I had to return from the Delhi airport with all my 1 month plans going down the drain. And a week later, I come back home, and then I get dengue, and I'm in the hospital for like 10 days again. So 6 months for the last year were like crazy health wise, and I think it took a major hit in our activities also, because we're not able to function in a normal sense of way. So and obviously there were challenges, because it was again like our first year. We just finding our space in the system. And but then yeah, I think a lot of things changed when the PMUR project came in, and I think even with the pandemic in place, we're able to do multiple things with different initiatives. And like they say that never let a good pandemic go to waste. I think we took that head on. And I think we had the PMUR project going on one side. We had our new product that's coming out, Ekatra, that's been developed. Um, that was being built on one side. Then there was Misfits, obviously in full scale, and also some more initiatives that we are driving in the future. So I think it's been very hectic, but then it's been a lot of fun. There are still like, I think we are still struggling for cash flows to come in actively, but then I think that's part and parcel of the game. And we found out certain things that will go good in our favor now.
All the best for that, definitely. Mr. Prasanjit.
So I think all has already been said. I'm not sure what else to add. So the reason, I mean, so I've already given a glimpse of what so I met Abhijit in the month of February in Bombay. We attended a couple of stakeholder meetings for the PMEVA project, and then gradually I came on board. I eventually came on board in the month of April. Okay. So the journey with Vruksh from there has been a roller coaster ride, where we try to go in a smooth direction, and then we get multiple calls that we have to change the track. Then again we have to change the track because some stakeholders believe that it's not what they want. But by and large, because there's a larger vision to what we are doing here, which has already been outlined, and that is, I think, what keeps the entire team going. It's a very close knit team, as Suraj and Abhijit have outlined. The team has already been working in a distributed framework before the pandemic actually hit. So the pandemic did not really impede our operations as such. I would say it has only strengthened the bond and the kind of work ethic which we are already fostering. And we are trying to build processes. PMUVA project, I think, primarily has been a learning curve for us. We can actually take the key learnings from this, and I think put them on a higher scale. I think that's what is the vision right now. I think Ekatra is also something which hopefully will pick up steam, and we intend to serve the underserved learners in the Indian subcontinent and also in the global arena. I think this is pretty much what I would have to say at this point.
That's great. That's great. So all the best actually to the whole Vruksh team. And yeah, guys, if anyone in the audience, if you guys have any questions, you can also ask. Please go for it. Anyone in the audience?
I think in the interest of time, we could wrap this up. And I know
Okay.
I know
Sure.
all of you have more work to do than what I'm supposed to.
So I think it may also augur well for Abhijit to ask a counter question to Anupam, because she's
No,
been
don't
she's
do
been
that.
doing
Exactly. I think we should do that.
Don't
Yes,
do that.
yes.
Don't do
So
that.
Anupam,
Hi,
yeah, yes,
hi.
yes. You
I'm
have,
Tommy from Indonesia.
yeah.
This
Hi,
is
Tommy.
maybe a weird questions. I'm just curious, like, what is Virux means?
okay.
Okay, glad you asked. So Vruksh primarily means a tree
A tree.
in Hindi.
Ah, a tree.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
At last, I found the answer.
Actually, we should always clarify this when we have a session.
Yes. I think we
Stay
should.
international.
Thank
So,
you.
right, you're welcome. So the logo itself, it depicts a tree.
So there's a story behind the logo also. So those are basically two elements. One, the circle that you see is the Japanese Enzo, which symbolizes the circle of life, and the tree is primarily the tree of life, which is from the Greek mythology, and it comes together as a continuity symbol and stands for ecosystem, like building earth, and which is also why it has very earthy colors in the logo itself. So it has a deep meaning in that.
Awesome, awesome. It's great to hear that.
Thank you, thank you. So yes, coming back to Anupam.
Oh my
Uh,
God.
so
Yes.
yeah, I think you've grown from being a business mentor to driving Misfits, and now I think we have some very secret plans for you moving forward, and some very large plans also. So what motivates you to towards doing these things? And also something very interesting that I'm not sure if I should share it publicly, but you took a very bold step, and why did you do that?
Okay, so first of all, I actually don't know the exact answer to this question because I'm still exploring. I'm on the verge of that situation that I am still exploring what I want to do in future. What I'm doing right now is just I'm following my passion because my favorite word is entrepreneurship. So it's just I'm following that. I want to be connected with Vruksh as an intern, as a part-time member, as a full-time member. I don't know, but yeah, I want to be connected with Vruksh. Uh, Talking about the motivation part, I don't know why I'm doing this. I don't know the why part. It's just I'm still exploring things. So I want a little bit of time, maybe to answer this question. Some
Sure,
more
sure.
days so that I can explore more things. Yeah, and
So fun fact.
yeah, yes,
Yeah,
yes,
please go
please
ahead.
go. Yeah, one last question that I want to ask. I'm curious to know this. Like, you all have already impacted a lot of people with your work and with your organization. So, is there any specific number that you all have in your mind in terms of creating an impact in next 2 to 3 years, or any particular number?
Sky is the limit.
Absolutely.
Limit, maybe.
Yeah.
Plus one on that.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So
I, I
I
said plus one on that.
yeah, Rahul said plus
Okay.
one, but I think to answer your question a bit objectively, the moment you put a number, it becomes a target, right? So I think
Right.
we are not a target driven organization, but we are a mission driven organization, right? So
Absolutely,
that's
absolutely.
the key difference here. Uh,
Okay, that's great.
so because the mission is so large, the impact automatically becomes a greater offshoot of the mission itself. So I think as long as we are able to add meaningful value to the society, create entrepreneurs, that should be all that should help us get a good night's sleep.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And there
Okay,
is
that's
a
great.
lot of indirect impact that we make, but that is never counted, or that cannot be measured. So that is always there.
Maybe because you don't share it on social media.
Maybe we should.
Yes, I
Maybe we
think.
should make you the head of social media now.
Please do that.
Right.
Okay, that's great going actually. So well, thank you everyone for such great insights, and it was actually great listening to such enthusiastic people. And yeah, so I'm actually quite happy to be associated with Vruksh team. So thank you all for being there
Thank you very
and
much.
for creating such an impactful platform. Yes, Abhijit, you were
Thank you,
saying something.
Anupam.
Yeah,
Thank you
thank
all.
you.
I'm just saying thank you for this. I think what Prasenjit said, it's the essence primarily, that I think numbers is something that we're not like, everything that we do is going to be a byproduct of the mission that we are working towards. And I think the moment we put in a number, I think we'll be far too short-sighted, and probably the priorities might change in at that point in time. But then, yeah, I think the focus for us is to do as much as possible, uh, and just, I think it gives, what Prasenjit said, it gives us a good night's sleep, that okay, we made some delta change in somebody's life out there.
Absolutely, that's great. So, okay, in the interest of time, with this, we have come to the end of our day one panel discussion, and we'll be meeting and having such healthy and fruitful discussions till 22nd November, 25th November, I guess. So, I hope ज़्यादा अभी से अगर आपको लग रहा है ये ज़्यादा ये काफी हो गया, so don't think that, because अभी पूरा महीना हमारे लिए है आपका. So, yeah, so our final event, Misfits, a global pitching event, will go on for 6 days with some exceptional pitches, extraordinary jury members, and amazing panelists and guests. So do follow our official page for more updates. And actually, we have a lot more on our plates, and we will definitely try to impact more and more people. Because अभी टारगेट मतलब वो नंबर टारगेट नहीं है, as said by प्रसन्नजीत, right? So अभी numbers की
Sure,
तरफ हमें
sure.
ध्यान नहीं देना है. Yeah. So yeah, thank you everyone for your time. Thank you so much for attending day one and gracing the event with your presence. And I'm already expecting all of you to be there in our future, in our further pitch events. So be there, grace that event. And yeah, so with this, I would like to end our today's program as well.
Thank you all. Thank you all for
Thank you all.
participating.
Thank you. Thank you all. Stay safe, stay positive, and test negative.
Yes.
Bye.
All right. Bye bye.
Bye.